Assalamu alaikum and welcoming all of you at BD Digital Maritime Platform, lecture number 13, and the subject is transiting high-risk area or warlike operation area and seafarers' right for sailing, bonus and compensation if anything goes wrong. Reason for selecting this subject basically, number 1 point, merchant ships have been encountered different security threats such as stealing ships' property, illegal boarding, armed robbery, kidnapping of the crew, piracy attack, hijacking of the vessel with the crew when navigating in Gulf of Aden, Red Sea, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean or west coast of Africa, especially Nigeria, Malacca, Singapore Strait, Indonesian waters, Sulu Sea and Celebes Sea at Philippine coast, which means security at sea is really a very concern or serious matter at present. Number 2 point, with the broken heart in sharing that Bangladeshi flag vessels also are being hijacked by Somalian pirates. Although after a certain period of time, both ship and the crew were returned safely. Number 3 point, to avoid any security incident, what established procedure or precautions to be followed for transiting such high-risk area are being described here or are included in this subject. Number 4 point, if unfortunately any security incident takes place within the high-risk area or warlike operation area, then onboard seafarers have right for how much bonus and what kind of compensation for any attack, disability or death are also described in this subject. So definitely this video is going to be useful and of course interesting. The ship-specific ship security plan and the latest edition of Best Management Practice publication help the shipmaster to plan the buoys to detect, avoid, deter, delay and report attacks. The application of the recommendation of Best Management Practice publication makes a significant difference to the security of seafarers. The consequences of not adopting effective security measures may be severe. So few important definitions like armed robbery. What does it mean? Any illegal act of violence or detention or any act of depredation or threat other than act of piracy against the ship or against the person or property on board the ship is known as armed robbery. Attack. An attack as opposed to an approach is where a ship has been subjected to an aggressive approach by an unidentified craft and weapons have been discharged. And we can see here that small boats are attacking the vessel. They are almost near to the merchant ships. Now it's hijack. A hijack is where attackers have illegally boarded and taken control of the ship against the crew's will. Hijacks will not always have the same objective. And we can see this picture here. All the pirates are on board with the arms and they are taking control from the master. Now illegal boarding. And illegal boarding is where attackers have boarded the ship but have not taken control. I repeat again, illegal boarding means when the pirates, and illegal boarding is where attackers have boarded the ship but have not taken control of the vessel. Command still remain with the master. The most obvious example of this is the citadel scenario. Now the piracy attack. Piracy is defined in the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea or UNCLOS Convention. But for the purpose of this best management practice, a piracy attack may include but is not limited to, like number 1, the use of violence against the ship or its personnel or any attempt to use violence will be considered as a piracy attack. Number 2, attempt to illegally board the ship where the master suspect that the persons are the pirates. Number 3, an actual boarding, whether successful in gaining control of the ship or not, that also will be counted or considered as a piracy attack. And last point, we can see the attempt to overcome the ship protection measures by the use of ladders or grappling hooks or weapon deliberately used against the ship. Now, the suspicious approach, what does it mean? Action taken by another craft may be deemed suspicious if any of the following occur. A definite course alteration towards the ship, associated with a rapid increase in speed by the suspected craft. Number 2, the small craft sailing on the same course and speed for an uncommon period and distance, not keeping with normal fishing or other circumstances. Number 3, we can say sudden changes in course towards the ship. Merchant ship is going, suddenly a small boat just change her course and speed towards the vessel and approaching with the full speed will be considered as a suspicious approach. And we can see the seafarers, including armed security guards, are in action during suspicious boat approaching. Now, voluntary reporting area. The UKMTO voluntary reporting area is identified on the maritime security chart. Ships entering and operating within this voluntary reporting area are encouraged to register with the UKMTO. Registration establishes direct contact between the reporting ship and the UKMTO. Now, MSC Hua Maritime Security Center, Horn of Africa, vessel registration area. The MSC Hua vessel registration area is designed to inform military counter-piracy forces of the transit of merchant ships in the Indian Ocean, Gulf of Aden. Now, the high risk area. A high risk area is an defined area within the voluntary reporting area where it is considered that a higher risk of attack exists and additional security requirements are required. The HRA is outlined on maritime security chart normally. So it is very important. The latest information on current threats is used when planning routes through the high risk area. Now, ships should be prepared to deviate from their planned route at short notice to avoid threats highlighted by navigational warning or by military forces, which means within the high risk area, vessels should be ready for any time. And we can see this is the high risk area boundary they have given, but remember that this high risk area is not a fixed thing. Sometimes they increase, sometimes they decrease, so it depends upon the organization who declared the high risk area boundary. So at present we can see here, for the example, we can see here this is the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and also here part of the Arabian Sea are included inside high risk area. And this is the west coast of Africa. We can see here this small area they have given or declared as a high risk area, but it is changeable. So before going, please consider that in this area, what is the actual high risk area boundary for the moment. Now, Maritime Security Transit Corridor, MSTC. The Maritime Security Transit Corridor is a military established corridor upon which naval forces focus their presence and surveillance efforts. The MSTC consists of, number 1, International Recommended Transit Corridor, IRTC. The IRTC is not a traffic separation scheme, but an established transit corridor in the Gulf of Aden. where the naval forces focus their counter-piracy patrols. Bab el-Mandeb TSS and the TSS west of the Hanish Island. These all are included in the MSTC. In MSTC, there are two-way route. So one way can come this way, another way can come to the Red Sea. So the total area is being surveillance or is being patrolled by the military forces. And it is strongly recommended that ships use MSTC to benefit from the military presence. Of course, whenever merchant vessels are transiting this area, they must use the MSTC to get the benefit of military forces surveillance. And we can see here, this is the MSTC are marking here. A two-way route basically. Started from the Gulf of Aden, and this is the Bab el-Mandeb TSS, and this is the TSS of Hanish Island. The total area are being considered as the MSTC, where the military forces do the patrolling all the time. So merchant ships are always encouraged to use the MSTC. Same thing we can see here, the Somalia here, Yemen is here. This is the basically Gulf of Aden, and this is called IRTC, International Recommended Transit Corridor. Then this is the Bab el-Mandeb TSS, and this is the TSS of the Hanish Island. The total area are being patrolled by military forces. Now the usual piracy attack way or procedure. Pirates operate in pirate action groups who operate several different boat configurations, typically using small high-speed boat or skiff. PAG, Pirate Action Group boat configuration include skiffs only. Number 2, open whaler carrying significant quantities of fuel and often towing one or more attack skiff. Number 3, mothership, which include merchant ship or fishing vessels. So mothership are used to carry pirates, stores, fuel and attack skiffs to enable pirates to operate over a much larger area and are significantly less affected by the weather. Attack skiffs are often towed behind the mothership. What the size of the mothership allows, skiffs may be carried on. Pirates may use small arms, fire and rocket-propelled grenade to intimidate master of the vessel, to reduce the speed or to stop the vessel for permitting the other pirates to come on board. Pirates use below items to climb up the side of the ship, like the light. So pirates use below items to climb up the side of the ship, like the long, lightweight ladders, knotted climbing ropes, and long hooked poles. Once on board, they will make their way to the bridge for taking control of the vessel. And when on the bridge, they will demand the ship to stop so that other pirates can come on board the ship. Pirates can take place at any time, day or night. However, experience shows that attacks at dawn and dusk are more likely. The intent of Somali pirates is to hijack the ship and hold the crew for ransom. The usual practice is to keep the crew on board as negotiation progress, keeping both crew and ship. Threat assessment. The threat assessment must include all regional security threats. As part of every ship risk assessment prior to transit through the high-risk area, the latest military threat advice must be obtained from the UKMDO and MSCHUA website. A threat is form of capability, intent, and opportunity. A threat is form of capability, intent, and opportunity. So capability means attackers have the physical means to conduct an attack. Intent means intent is demonstrated by continued attacks, which is called strong desire. Opportunity is what is mitigated by the company, ship, and crew through application of the measures. So if one side of the triangle is removed, then risk is minimized. The company master cannot influence either capability or intent. That's why we need to focus on the opportunity option.